Alright, we're going to talk about DNA, genes, and protein. Let's start off by drawing ourselves a plant cell. And inside this plant cell we have what we call a nucleus. It's very large. So inside this nucleus we have a whole bunch of stuff, and this stuff is what we call DNA. So let's zoom in on that DNA to make a bigger image. And like I said, it's a whole bunch of junk. It's just kind of like swirling around in there. It doesn't make much sense. But we might know DNA to look more like this thing. This double helix has a code inside of it, and this code is what we care about. So this stuff we call deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA. This stuff has hundreds of codes inside of it, all made to make proteins. These codes are called genes. Proteins, as a reminder, have a lot of function, such as they provide structure, they perform cell functions, and they also communicate with other cells. Proteins are extremely important. So we're not going to go into the details specifically about how that actually happens, but let's take an example for flowers. We're going to have two different flowers here. We got our leaves on one side, and one flower we're going to have blue petals. The other flower we're going to have is red petals. They are the same species, but they have different colored flowers. And that happens a lot. So let's look inside their DNA. Their DNA is the same. But certain sections of their DNA are going to be different. So a region of a DNA is going to code for a certain protein. So this one thing we call a gene. We call gene number 1. And gene number 1 codes for a specific protein, which we'll call protein 1. And for this protein, this makes 4 petals. And it'll be the same exact one on the blue flower. It's also called gene 1. It is also going to make protein 1. And it will also make 4 petals. But on a different section of the gene, of the DNA, we have a different gene. It might be a little bit smaller, It's the same region. This will code for gene 2, but this makes protein 2A, and this will code for red flower. This is also gene 2. This makes protein 2B, and this will code for blue flowers. So to summarize, all these cells in each plant has the same DNA. However, there are differences in the genes that make them different.